Hey Squids! Back again with another episode of Talking Splat, with today's subject being the most recent game-changing patch. With passing time after its release, has the 2.2.0 patch really changed the game? Or is it the same old ink? Let's start this Splat talk on gals. We all have a love-hate relationship with these weapons. We all use them, but we also have plenty of salt to give to gal users. Previous to the patch, gals were as meta as 3K chargers. You had to have one or two on your team. Putting up wall after wall with 7 seconds of durability slowed down the game to a deadlock, especially on stages like Port Mackerel. There was no escaping them, and walls weren't the only issue. The 96 gal deco also had a base 2 hit splat, plus a Kraken for retaliation kills, notoriously known as panic Krakens. It was a machine, and everyone played it. E-liter chargers were the next most problematic weapon in the game. These players dominated any map with all damage up gear that decreased the charge time it required to get a kill. Damage up also bolstered the burst bomb sub for any close combat, and E-liter was any player's nightmare. It sometimes even came down to which team had the better charger for the win. Post-patch, it seems like the E-liter is not as sought after. These chargers now had their base hit kill damage increased, requiring a near full charge regardless of damage ups, and with the defense up counter on the rise, it made it that much harder to get a quick kill. Precision and preservation was now the name of the game. Splatter scopes, on the other hand, were not impacted, making an increase in regular chargers and scope usage. 3K players now reserved their E-liters for stages that required the extra range, such as Murray or Camp. The 96 deco saw a huge decrease in use, and players instead opted for 52 gals. The wall nerf combined with the ink usage of a 96 deco made for a frustrating combination at times, since putting up walls depleted the ink you needed to shoot at opponents. The additional Kraken nerf also decreased the viability of aggressive 96 deco play. Krakens became a strictly defensive special. Does this truly mean RIP for the E-liter and 96 deco? No, I don't think so. They are still viable and efficacious in any team combo. The nerfs only made it so that they're no longer over-centralizing the metagame. There are still many great players out there with these weapons. But we're not done just yet, Squids. There's still the big octoling in the room to address. Rollers. Rollers took a big hit in the metagame post-patch. The ridiculous hitbox prior to the patch has now been reduced, and now no player can just pick up the weapon and say they're a roller main. It's now a weapon that requires some skill. Crack-on rollers are no longer suffocating ranked rooms or competitive play, and teams can go without one nowadays. It isn't that it's no longer extremely viable, it's just that it isn't too easy to use anymore. But the question is still left about the fairness of dynamos. Although the hitbox has been nerfed, there's still outcries of how cheap these weapons can be. On some stages, they are completely suffocating, covering so much turf in just a few flicks. Their range is still hard to deal with. Even up close, they have such a presence that we may falter our aim from the pressure to take them out. You must be quick and steady to take them out without a trade. With all that said, post-patch has seemingly increased 52 and Dynamo players significantly, since these weapons cover the disadvantages brought to the 96 and Crack-on roller. The 52 has better ink management than the 96, and the Dynamo still has a strong wide hitbox that the Crack-on roller now misses. But these aren't the only weapons that have changed the game. Many buffs were given to certain weapons, most notably the N-Zaps and Splash-O-Matics. N-Zaps have had their run speed and damage output increased, while Splashes have also had their damage output increased. There are many more changes to address, such as the small 10 attack nerf that seemingly has made a difference in their usage, but I would like to conclude the video here with a statement. The patch back in October has significantly changed the game. We now see such a great variety in weapon use that has made the game even more enjoyable than it was. More weapon compositions have opened up for more strategies and different matchups, giving ranked mode and competitive play a much needed refresher. We also see a mix of abilities with an increase in ones like quick respawn, run speed up, and above all, defense up. And with a more balanced game, we can see many new sets and strategies being explored. That's all the Splat talk we have for today, Squids. Let us know your thoughts post-patch. Stay fresh!